Hi, thanks for tuning in. I'm happy to report today that Haverhill and all throughout Massachusetts, we're doing very well indeed with the coronavirus infection rate. The infection rate has plummeted. We're doing lots of testing in Haverhill and all throughout Massachusetts, and only 1.5% of the tests are coming back as positive. That's called a 1.5% infection rate. It's generally thought if the infection rate is 5% or less that you can manage the virus. So we're managing it, we're reopening, and I want to thank all of you because your hard work and your sacrifice made this happen. Massachusetts has been number one throughout the country in having the lowest infection rate. So now we're concentrating on reopening. If you go downtown, you see we are the kings of sidewalk dining. We have sidewalk dining everywhere. And now we're in the process of planning the reopening of the rest of our city, and in particular, our schools. Our task over the next 3 or 4 weeks is going to be planned for a reopening in the fall. This will be one of the most time-consuming and difficult chores we've ever had to do, and it's one of the most important. The state's asked us to prepare a reopening plan, which we'll submit to them sometime in the end of July or early August. Now, despite what you might have read or heard, there have been no specific reopening plans that have been made. And whatever we do make, whatever plans we submit, will be strictly under state guidelines. We know this. We know that reopening our schools is a must. Secretary of Education Jeff Riley, I was on a conference call with him yesterday with the mayors, and he said if we can't reopen the schools here in Massachusetts with the lowest infection rate in the country, we can't reopen them anywhere. And it's very important that our children get an education. During the lockdown, Massachusetts did remote learning, and it worked very well for some of our children. We've got a lot of studies and surveys on this, but it didn't work for everybody. We have an obligation that no child is left behind, to educate every child, not just some of them, not just most of them, but all of them. And it's our obligation to make sure that all of our children are educated. On the other hand, we recognize that there are some children who have special medical needs who can't go back to school. We recognize there are some parents who are worried and want to homeschool their children or would prefer a remote learning option. And we have to plan for all of these things. It's important that children go back to school, but it's also important that we do it safely. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be meeting and planning the best and safest way to educate our children in the fall. We'll be drawing up plans, and we'll be drawing up lots of contingency plans. What happens if the pandemic comes back and there's a second wave? What metrics do we set for when we have to, heaven forbid, shut the schools or the city or the state down again? We need to have metrics for that. How do we provide for children who can't get back to school because they're sick or their parents don't want them to go back? They're our obligation too. How do we provide transportation? There aren't going to be enough school buses when we have to limit our school bus transportation. How do we pay for all of this? What do we do if a child gets sick? What do we do if a teacher gets sick? These are all of the things that we need to plan for, and we will. It's going to be a long and difficult process. I want all of you to know that our focus is going to be on safety. We're going to strictly follow the state guidelines, and we're going to make the safety of your children a top priority. I'll be back in a week or so, and I'm going to talk to you about putting the final touches on the city budget. And anything else you want, just give me a call, 978-374-2300, or email me, mayor@cityofhaverhill.com. In the meantime, stay safe, stay positive, and whatever you do, don't forget to wear your mask when you go out. Thanks for listening.